What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady, and Luke Payton. In this video, we're going to be giving a roundup of the TAILTEANN Cup quarterfinals of 2022, starting with the quarterfinal, which happened on Saturday over the weekend. Offaly beating New York by 317 to 11 points, beating New York in really a very enjoyable game of Gaelic football. I mean, New York's first match in Ireland in how long? But Offaly putting up a good scoreline there, 317. Luke, you saw the game yourself. What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, look, from Offaly perspective, job done, move on to the next. And that, look, it was always going to be a big ask for New York, I think. And look, based from the game that they played against SLIGO over in New York as well. Look, Mark Ellis was really good in midfield for them that day as well. Wasn't playing this time as well. I think, look, they obviously have issues as well with the travel coming over and that getting all the players over as well. But they did have some big names, like Johnny Glynn was there. Adrian Varley as well was up at the full forward line too. And look, so Offaly just did a game to win, and they did. And look, I think the big thing for Offaly going forward as well is that they're really using this opportunity to blood those under-20s in this as well. Like from the start there today, there was 5 under-20s started that game as well. Like, so you've got the likes of Rory Egan is getting more game time, Jack Bryant, Donoghue as well, played wing forward, O'Neill in the corner, and then Lee Pearson as well got to play. That these lads are starting to nail down slots as well. And the other one as well, look, Cathal Flynn came off the bench, scored a goal and a point as well. He was a good part of that team too. So they're getting these fellas in as well. And look, they still have the likes of Cormac Egan as well too. When he comes back from injury, he's going to be a big part coming in as well. Tynan as well has been coming off the bench as well. So these young lads are starting to come through more and more. And look, the TAILTEANN Cup is going to be great for that as well. And that blood in these guys, like John Mahoney said it explicitly, that they're going to use this competition to get these players in as well. And look, the fact that they're getting such great wins to go with it too is a big help too. So really positive from an Offaly perspective. And it's a really interesting mix of a team because they, like all those players I mentioned as well, they're going into it. They're playing with Niall McNamee, Rory McNamee, Anton Sullivan, Conor McNamee, Johnny Maloney. These are all veteran players that have been kind of serving Offaly for many years. And there's nearly kind of a cohort of 21-year-old players kind of in the team, mixed with fellas that are kind of approaching mid-30s. So it's a real kind of strange makeup of the team. But look, it's working for the moment. The McNamees are still kicking all the points. Anton Sullivan's still looking like as good as he's looked. So really good from Offaly perspective. And they'll be moving on to Westmeath there the next day. And I'd give them a good old chance there of winning that and getting to the first TAILTEANN final.
Yeah, 100%. And then speaking of Westmeath, they derailed the Carlow train. Of course, Carlow pulled off probably the biggest shock of last weekend by beating Tipperary in that game, 112 to 10 points. But they went down to Westmeath this time. Carlow 213, Westmeath 121. In my opinion, I said, like, Jack Cooney's Westmeath have always, to me, been such a solid team that they beat who you would think that they would beat and give a game to the teams that are a bit better than them. And this was a Carlow side that I would have expected them to beat, and they did with minimal fuss, really. I mean, a comfortable enough victory, 5 points. And Westmeath into the semi-finals. What did you make of them?
Yeah, it's 121, like a good old tally, to be honest. And look, I think based off what we've seen from Carlow the last week playing against Tipperary, nobody gave them a chance whatsoever into that. So look, obviously Westmeath go into it a bit more phased of them as well. John Heslin kicked 1-9, I think it was, in the end. That, look, it was a great tally as well, mostly frees as well. Sam McCartan as well is the big find for them, I think, this year as well, is that, look, the last day out, he was man of the match. And look, again, from wing forward again today, kicked 3 really good points. So, they're moving quite well. I think their forward line is potent and that they have scores in that forward line. And look, it'll be interesting to see. I think it'll be great that going forward into this game as well. We've talked about Offaly here briefly as well. The fact that game is going to be televised on RTE as well, and that people get a closer look at it as well. Like a lot of the case with these games is that you're nearly confined to the match report and everything that comes from that as well. So the opportunity to see those games live, it's like I can't wait to see it as well. And like we've talking about the southern half of the straw here now, first of all, and that, like, it's a real 50-50 game, I think, between Offaly and Westmeath coming into it as well. two really evenly matched sides as well that have been putting up good scoring tallies. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one goes. And yeah, look, I might be leaning towards Offaly slightly, but look, it could really go either way in the day.
Yeah, I agree. And then the other two teams in the semi-final will, of course, be Sligo and Cavan. Of course, Sligo, we're going to their game first. They drew at Leitrim and Park Sean McDermott in what was a rocking atmosphere. I mean, we knew it would be local derby and such. But 2-16 to Leitrim, 1-19 to Sligo. Then after extra time, couldn't settle them either. And then it went to penalties with Sligo winning on the penalty shootout. I mean, as dramatic as you can get. But Sligo, I mean, is it more a case of that you would have expected them to beat Leitrim in normal time, and therefore does that not bode so well for them going into the Cavan game, or were Leitrim just a lot better? I mean, a great victory over Antrim the last day out, and racking up 2-16 again is a good score and tally from the Leitrim forward line.
Yeah, look, I think so. And that, look, we said on the preview for this game was that, look, based on form kind of coming in, Sligo had really laboured to a win over London, that they'd really had it put up to them as well, whereas Leitrim had given a great performance against Antrim and they'd really kind of coasted home in that one. So look, I think the form guide was leaning towards Leitrim, even though, look, most people would probably suggest that Sligo probably have the superior footballers. So look, it seemed to kind of even itself out a little bit towards the end. And look, I think a draw probably wasn't a huge surprise, I think, in the end. And look, it's a lottery, I suppose, in the end. So it must be awfully tough on Andy Moran to kind of his side. That, look, they've had a really good year. I think they've shown definite signs of progression. That, like, I know in the league they didn't get promoted, but did some good results in that as well. And they had a good result against Antrim the last day out. So look, they have shown signs of progression. But look, ultimately they lost out in the lottery. That's penalties. But look, fair play, I suppose, to Sligo in the end. They had some good performances. Sean CAVAN in midfield as well looks to be a real top player as well. He's been kicking huge scores kind of from midfield, and as well Alan Riley was the other main scorer that he's kind of taken upon that mantle. Like, Niall Murphy didn't play today. He's been leading the line for Sligo for years. And that, look, Alan Riley's just seems to be really stepping up at the moment. And yeah, look, they have a huge task coming up ahead of them against Cavan, look, as we're going to get on to now in a second.
Yeah, no doubt. And Cavan, I mean, you can't ignore how impressive they were against Fermanagh, going to Brewster Park and winning by 2-16 to 13 points. Of course, Cavan were both of our number one pick to actually go on and win the TAILTEANN Cup. 2-16 to 13 points. For me, that idea that Cavan were going to go on and win the TAILTEANN Cup has been even more strengthened by a performance like this.
Yeah, look, I think it would take a minor miracle before for them to not win it. And that, look, you look at the remaining teams there as well, that I really can't see any scenario in which Cavan don't win. They just have way too much kind of strength for this competition. And that, you look at some of the teams that are playing in the senior championship at the moment, that look, Cavan would give a good beating to as well. So yeah, look, I think I would fully expect Cavan to go on and win and then get themselves pushed back to probably where they belong. And that's, look, if they didn't have that terrible run in the league, which sent them down to Division 4, look, they wouldn't be here. So they've served their time here as well. And look, based briefly on the match there as well, look, some really good performances again. Paddy Lynch again scoring 3 points, but I think, look, Thomas Galligan was the main man there. 1-4 from play from midfield is a huge tally. And yeah, look, the likes of him, the likes of Raymond in goal as well, and like Conor Moyna, all these players are way too good probably to be playing at this level, and that they shouldn't really be in a second tier championship. And like, I don't think they'll face really any problems at all against Sligo. As much as kind of Sligo have ground out a great result against Leitrim, I think Cavan are gonna probably have an even bigger win than what they did against Fermanagh here. And yeah, I'd expect them to win that quite handily. And then, look, in a wide open Croke Park as well, I think I would fancy them to win that too.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cavan are going to win, and that's so we're presuming that they obviously beat Sligo in the semi-final and get into that final where we're both saying that they're going to win. But who do you think will be the team that actually get into that final against them? Who do you think is going to win between Offaly and Westmeath?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Offaly, and I think that I like the Offaly forward line. I think that they have, like, I think there's a lot of kind of there's a nice mix between the young and old players in there as well. Like the likes of McNamee still top class forward, and they've got a bit of pace around them now. The two lads in the corners are straight from that under 20 All Ireland winning team, and yeah, there's a nice kind of mix in there as well. And yeah, they just seem to be moving quite well under John Mahon. I know Tomas O'Shea's involved in there as well. So I'm going to go, I'll lean Offaly, not hugely confidently lean Offaly, but I'd love to see them get into the final. And yeah, it'd be great to see Offaly back up in Croke Park competing in a national competition in the final for.
Yeah, and I think if Offaly get into the final, I think it will be a really, really enjoyable spectacle. I think like they'll both play open football, like Paddy Lynch at one end, Niall McNamee at the other. I feel like it would be a real exhibition style of attacking football, which would be a real joy to watch. But me personally, I'm going to go Westmeath. I think they're more of a machine, and I can see them grinding out a victory. But either way, I don't think either of them are going to beat Cavan in that final. Cavan still remain my pick. Guys, that is the roundup of the TAILTEANN Cup quarterfinals in 2022, a competition which has been brilliant so far. Can't wait for the semi-finals now. That's the match reviews, guys, here on Play on GAA. Please smash the like button and stay subscribed. And until the next one, take care.